Transportation. So here we have which type of the transportation in the in human beings as well as in plant that we are going to discuss, and you'll see that how our human heart is going to play the role with the help of four chambers, and you'll see that other organisms, other animals which having three chambers in the heart and which having the two chambers in the heart, those things we are going to see in this part, and how oxygenated blood is going to reach to each and every cell from the heart. Again, how deoxygenated blood is going to reach to the heart, and again how it is going to be oxygenated with the help of lungs. Those are things we are going to see here in the transportation in human beings. So this is going to be the very important topics. On the basis of that, you will get the many MCQs as well as a long question also. So here we have activity. So in this activity, that is about the hemoglobin contents in the different age groups. So earlier when we have seen about respiration, so there you have seen that due to hemoglobin, oxygen is going to reach each and every cell through the blood. So hemoglobin is very important part which is available in the RBC of the blood. Okay. So hemoglobin हर एज ग्रुप में क्या है, अलग अलग है. चाइल्ड में जब चाइल्ड बोर्न होता है, सो इन दैट केस वी हैव मोर hemoglobin. So जब चाइल्ड बोर्न हुआ, so in that case we might have like 15 or maybe from 16 to 24. This is the gram per deciliters when child is going to born. Slowly when child is grown up, so that this range is going to shrink. So finally, suppose you will talk about 1 to 5 years child. So in that case, this hemoglobin is going to become 10.4 to the 13.6 gram per deciliters. So this is about the child. So now child is further it is going to grown up. So now it's become the adult. So in male, the range of the hemoglobin is generally 13.2 to 17.3 gram per deciliter. So this is the conventional units, that is the gram per deciliters. So in the male, what is the range? क्या है? 13.2 to 17.3. Whereas in case of female, the range of the hemoglobin is 11.7 to 15.5 gram deciliters. And even for the female, that hemoglobin is very important. Okay, since female has to go through these various process. Okay, all these things like menstruation and all. So these are the different range that once you are going to visit in the clinic, or you have some neighbors or even the home, people is going to have some test about this hemoglobin or total blood test. So then in that report, you can check the what is the hemoglobin range, okay, and how much hemoglobin that person's having. So that you can verify, okay, in the home also. Similarly, in case of different animals also, we have different range of the hemoglobins, but here we are going to concentrate only on the human beings. So from the child, so again adult male, adult female. These are the range. That is the unit is what? Gram per deciliter. So this is the conventional unit. Okay. So now after activity, we are going to see the important part here. See what is happening here, that how this blood helps in transport of what? Food, oxygen and waste materials. So food, whatever nutrition we are taking, that is also going to reach to the cell, each and every cell through the blood. Again, oxygen is also going to reach, as well as the waste materials coming out from that cell, that is also coming through the blood only. So that is very, very important here. Okay. So these things you have seen in the lower class. Okay. So now the blood consists of very important fluid medium that is called as the plasma. Okay. What is the plasma? This is the fluid medium of the blood. Okay. So in this only cells are suspended. So that cells are floating in this. Plasma में क्या है? Cells float कर. Okay. And it is the fluid medium for the blood. So this plasma, how it is going to help? Again, it is used to help in the transportation of food, carbon dioxide, and the nitrogenous waste, which is being dissolved. It is being extraction again. So finally, we'll see that in the later topic, how waste particles is coming out from our human bodies that we are going to see later. Okay. So that is the importance of plasma. Plasma क्या importance है? Transportation of क्या? Food, carbon dioxide. So when it is going to coming back from the cell towards the heart or the lungs, so there again plasma is going to play the role, as well as nitrogenous waste. These are dissolved in the blood. So this oxygen is carried by, just now we have told that hemoglobin is the important part which is available where in the RBC of the blood, that is called as the red blood corpuscles. Okay. Apart from this, salt is also being transported by the blood. Okay. So now, since like some animals or we human beings, we have a large body size, so we require different pumping system so that it will push the blood throughout the body. Around the each and every cell, how blood is going to reach, for that pumping system is required. So what is the pumping system in the human beings? To that is going to help us to push the blood around the body. Okay, so that is the human heart. So heart is the natural pump. Okay, here it is going to push the blood from the, that is the oxygenated blood is being pushed by the heart, which is going to reach each and every cell. Okay, so सबसे पहले क्या हो रहा है? We have network of tubes. So from this, it is going to reach the tissues. And so finally, if some cells are damaged, that are being repaired again. Okay, so this blood is going to play the role. So main part is the blood is what here? Plasma. क्या है plasma? याद हुआ? So plasma क्या क्या रोल है? ट्रांसपोर्ट द फूड को पहुंचाने में, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को निकालने में, और नाइट्रोजनियस वेस्ट जो कि डिजॉल्व फॉर्म में ब्लड में अवेलेबल है। और ऑक्सीजन कैसे पहुंचता है सेल में? थ्रू दी रेड ब्लड कॉर्पसल्स। इसमें क्या है? हीमोग्लोबिन। ड्यू टू दैट ओनली इट्स गोइंग टू रीच, एज वेल एज इट्स हेल्प्स इन द रिपेयरिंग ऑफ द सेल्स। सो अभी हम लोग नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सी that is the natural pump, that is the heart in the human, how it is going to work. So here what is the important concept? If you see that this human heart having four chambers. Okay, four chambers are there. So we have upper part is called as the atrium. So we have left atrium and we have right atrium. Again, lower part is called as the ventricle. So we have left ventricle and we have right ventricles. So these are the four chambers. Now we'll see how these four chambers are going to communicate each other. So that again important part is here vein. Vein is actually used to carry the impure blood, but pulmonary vein is going to carry the oxygenated blood from the passes through the lungs and it is coming to the left atrium. Whereas in general, arteries are going to carry the oxygenated blood from the heart to the other part of the organ, but pulmonary arteries used to carry the deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs. So in the lungs, we have seen alveoles. So that is going to help here there. That is the exchange of the gas takes place there. Okay. So here again in the heart, what is the important concept? When RTM is going to receive the blood, it will be relaxed. When it is going to contract, it is going to push the blood in the left ventricle. So when left ventricle is going to receive the blood, again that time it will relax. And when it is going to contract, so finally it is going to push the blood. Okay. And whereas deoxygenated blood is going to come to the right atrium. So again, RTM is going to receive, it is relaxed. Again, it is going to contract, it is going to push in the right ventricle. And from here, with the help of pulmonary arteries, it is going to the lungs to exchange the gases. Okay. And here, these are the valves are like this one-way valves. So that mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood doesn't takes place inside the human heart. Even it has four chambers and that having passage with the help of valves, and this valve is what? One-way valve. Okay. And sometimes you will hear about that some old people, even sometimes nowadays, and maximum in old people only, you'll see that they have going through the pacemaker again with the surgeries. So this pacemaker is going to have to help in the pushing the blood also, just like a spark. Okay, ignition. So same thing later, it's not here in this topic, but later in the higher class, you are going to study about natural pacemaker. So now in this, what is the heart? Heart क्या है? एक मस्कुलर ऑर्गन है जिसका साइज कितना है? एक आवर फिस्ट के बराबर. हम लोग जब मुट्ठी बांधते हैं जो व्हाट इज द शेप यू आर गेटिंग, दैट मच ओनली साइज ऑफ द ह्यूमन हार्ट इज देयर. सो नाउ थ्रू द ब्लड क्या हो रहा है? ऑक्सीजन और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दोनों का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हो रहा है. So heart ko in the human heart we have four different chambers. Okay, still oxygen rich blood is not going to mix with the deoxygenated blood. Okay, so finally what is going to happen here? Deoxygenated blood is going to reach to the lungs, okay, where carbon dioxide is being removed. And again, so since carbon dioxide is being removed and lungs having oxygen, so finally oxygenated blood is going to come back from the lungs to the heart. Okay. So now this oxygenated rich blood is going to pump out from the our human heart to the other parts of the body. Okay. So now we'll see in detail how this process is going to take place. So यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? First we have seen these four chambers. Okay. So later we have one more diagram. With the help of that, we are going to see how this process is going to take place. So here, what you'll see that main concept is that the which part of the heart, like we have two RTM and two ventricle. So which one is going to receive the blood? That will be in the relaxed condition. When it is going to contract, it is going to push the blood. क्या है concept? जब relax है तो क्या है? वो receive कर रहा है. जब contract कर रहा है तो push कर रहा है. ठीक है? So that concept you have to keep in mind. And lungs, this is the we have very thin wall in the upper chamber of the heart, that is the left atrium. Okay, so they're having thin wall, so that is our left atrium. So left atrium is going to relax when it is going to obtain the blood. Okay, relax है जब blood receive कर रहा है. And when it is going to contract, then blood is going to move from the left atrium to left ventricle, and left ventricle is in the relaxed condition. Okay. Again, when muscular left ventricle contracts, then finally blood is going to be pumped out to the other part of the body. So this is about the oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood कहाँ आया? Left atrium में आया, फिर लेफ्ट आर्टियम से लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में गया, एंड फ्रॉम देयर इट इज बीइंग ट्रांसपोर्टेड टू द अदर पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी. सो दैट इज अबाउट द ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड. ओके, याद रहेगा. So that's why if somebody having blockage in the heart, if it is the left part of the heart, then treatment should be done, okay, in proper way. Since it is going to carry the oxygenated blood. Whereas when we'll talk about deoxygenated bloods, so now again from the cell, each and every cell from the human body, this deoxygenated blood is coming through the vein. Deoxygenated blood through the vein. Oxygenated blood is going to different part of the body through the artery. So deoxygenated कैसे आ रहा vein के through, and oxygenated is going to reach each and every part of the body कैसे through the artery. Okay. So now deoxygenated blood came where? In the right atrium. तो जब भी आर्ट्रियम या वेंट्रिकल ब्लड को रिसीव कर रहा है तो क्या इट इज रिलैक्स. So right atrium is going to receive the deoxygenated blood, so it is in relax. Now this right atrium is going to contract. So when it is going to contract, then so here now we have right atrium. This is going to relax and it is getting the blood from the vein. Okay, that is the deoxygenated blood. And vein to right atrium. Right atrium is relaxed. Again, when it is going to contract, it is going to right ventricle. Now, right ventricle is going to contract. So from here, it will go through the where? Pulmonary artery. From pulmonary artery, it will go where? In the lungs. That having lungs having capillaries where exchange of the gases takes place. Okay, it's clear? So right ventricles and it pump to the lungs for the oxygenation. Okay, this part is clear. So now if you see that since the artery is having pressures, it is going to carry the pressurized blood from the main heart to the different part of the body that is going to reach to the cell. So that's why artery having thicker muscular walls. Okay, so that thicker muscular walls are required. So where pressure is more, okay, and valves, it has valves that having no backward flow. Okay, so that's what we should keep in the mind. So this valve, since the ventricle one is going to pump the blood into various organs, they have thicker muscular walls. So it is talking about the muscular walls, about the ventricles. Even you are saying that impure blood is being pushed from the right ventricle to the lungs. So that's a wall is thicker. Similarly, left ventricle is going to help us to push the blood from the heart to the other part of the organs. So that's why left ventricle is also thicker. So overall, the walls of the ventricles are thicker. After that, you will see that artery is more thicker, or it has more space in compared to veins, since artery is going to handle the pressure. So pressurized blood is going to pass through the artery. So now here in this part, if you see here how this oxygenation, that is the deoxygenated blood, how it is being oxygenated, that we are going to see in this part. So finally, if you see that's right side and left side of the heart is being separated. Left side having oxygenated blood and right side having deoxygenated blood. Okay, so that is it is being, still see how God is given to our heart. It is being separated completely. Even in case of some other birds and mammals, they also having blood circulations. So here in case of human heart, what we have seen that this is going to have in one cycle, it is going to pass 2 times through the heart. So now finally, what is happening here? This pulmonary vein, okay, carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the where? Right it is left artery, carry to the left atrium. Again, oxygenated blood, when it is reaching to the left atrium is relaxed. Now, when RTM is going to contract, this oxygenated blood is going to move to the left ventricle. And from the left ventricle, you are seeing that it is pumped out through the aorta or artery. From this is the pulmonary. Here already we have seen that this is the pulmonary vein through which oxygenated blood is going to reach to the left atrium. And from the left ventricle, क्या हो रहा है? Oxygenated blood is going to reach to the different part of the human body with the help of artery. Now another part, what we have here, when deoxygenated bloods coming through the vein from the different part. So where you see that we have capillaries in the body organs apart from the lungs. So finally, it is getting the pure blood through the artery, and finally impure blood or deoxygenated blood or the blood which having more carbon dioxide in compared to oxygen, that is coming from the through the vein from the each part of the body, and finally it is going to reach where? To the right atrium. Again, so when right atrium is receiving this deoxygenated blood, it is relaxed. And again, when it is going to contract, this deoxygenated blood is going to reach to the right ventricle. Again, right ventricle is going to contract finally with the help of pulmonary artery. It is going to the lungs. And in the lungs, you are seeing that we have capillaries, and we have seen in the respiration also about alveoli, so where exchange of the gases takes place. Like how this transport and exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place, so far we have seen. ओके, याद रहेगा क्या हुआ? पल्मोनरी वेन, जनरली वेन क्या करता है? इम्प्योर ब्लड को लाता है, लेकिन पल्मोनरी वेन क्या है? जो ऑक्सीजनेटेड प्योर ब्लड को कहां से? लंग से लेफ्ट आर्ट्रियम में लाया, फिर लेफ्ट आर्ट्रियम से लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल को गया. जब लेफ्ट आर्ट्रियम is going to receive the blood, it is relaxed. फिर contract हुआ, so फिर वह blood going to flow in the left ventricle. So finally from the left ventricle, शरीर के हर भाग में जा रहा है किसके द्वारा? Through the artery. Again, capillaries are there apart from the lungs. So वहां पर impure blood vein के द्वारा again it is coming कहाँ आया? Right atrium में. राइट आर्ट्रियम क्या था उस टाइम? रिलैक्स था. फिर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होने के बाद इम्प्योर ब्लड कहाँ गया? राइट वेंट्रिकल में, और राइट वेंट्रिकल भी रिलैक्स था. ये जब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ, सो फाइनली पल्मोनरी आर्टरी के थ्रू इम्प्योर ब्लड कहाँ पहुंचा? लंग्स में. ओके, नाउ इन दिस पार्ट it is written that how we are going to get the energy and how we are going to maintain the body temperatures and as per the environments. Okay, so like we have amphibians and many reptiles, they are having 3 chambers in the heart. So in the previous class, maybe in case of fish, I told 3, maybe I'm not sure about that. So fish having 2 chambers and reptiles having 3 chambers. Okay. Fish having how many chambers? 2 chambers in the heart. Fish having only 2 chambers. So that's why there only one cycle will take place. Blood is going to pass through the heart only one time. Whereas in the human hearts, we have 4 chambers. So you are saying that blood is going to pass 2 times. One time oxygenated, one time deoxygenated. Okay. So only one cycle takes place where in case of fish. And human heart will have that blood is going to pass 2 times in each cycles through the vertebrates. So that's why we have double circulation, and fish having 2 chambers, so this having single circulation. So this was how circulation of blood takes place, and how human heart, which is going to act as the pump, is going to help us to get the oxygenated blood in the various organs. So that is so artery overall, ventricle wall will be thicker and artery is thicker in compared to vein. So ventricle wall is more thicker after that artery, after that vein. So another thing is the blood pressure. डेली लाइफ में आपने बहुतों को सुना होगा, they have high blood pressure, they have low blood pressure, and the range of the standard blood pressure is what? 120 to 80 mm of Hg. Hg is what? Mercury. Okay. So mercury is the only metal which is the liquid in the room temperature. Okay. Mm is what? Millimeter. So now how this pressure is being measured, okay, so that which equipments we are going to use and how that sphygmomanometer is going to work, that we are going to see. So generally we have instrument that is used to measure the blood pressure, that is called as the sphygmomanometer. So now here you are seeing that in the first case we have normal flow. Okay. So this one upper one is called as the systolic and down one is called as the diastolics. So we have systolic, diastolics. Systolic value is 120, diastolic is the 80. This is the normal blood pressure. Okay. So this pressure is being generated. How? This is contraction. So now here if you see that pressure is more where? In arteries in compared to vein, since pure blood from the heart is being pumped out with the help of arteries. So inside the artery pressure is more. And this pressure blood inside the artery during the ventricular systole. So when ventricle is having contraction, that time it is pushing the blood through the artery. So that pressure is called as the systolic pressures. So that time pressure is high. And pressure in artery during the ventricle relaxation. जब ventricle क्या हुआ? Relax हो रहा है, receive कर रहा है blood को. That is called as the diastolic pressures. So diastolic is the lower part, systolic is the upper part. So the normal range is what? 120 mm of mercury and diastolic is 20 mm of 80 mm of mercury. So now here when doctor or any expert who knows how to measure this, so finally they're going to pump the air from here. So due to that, this artery is being closed completely here. So there's no flow of blood here. Okay. So that time this level is more than 120. After that, slowly this knob is being released. Okay. So that pressure is going to decrease. So finally at particular level, it creates some sounds. That sound can be heard by a stethoscope. And finally, slowly we are releasing the pressures and this sound is going to continue. Again, at particular value, that sound is going to stop. So where sound starts, that is the systolic. Where sound stops, that is called as the diastolic. So like this, we have systolic and diastolic pressure, which is measured by sphygmometer. सो सिस्टोलिक क्या हुआ? जब साउंड आना स्टार्ट हुआ और डायस्टोलिक क्या हुआ? जब साउंड बंद हुआ. सो सिस्टोलिक में प्रेशर ज्यादा, डायस्टोलिक में क्या है? प्रेशर कम है. सो जिस जो द पर्सन वी हैव मोर देन 120 mm, okay, higher than this, sometimes maybe with age we can tolerate up to 130 140 mm of Hg, but when it is more than this, people will have higher blood pressure. Okay. It is caused by constriction of arterioles. So arterioles finally, due to that, is going to provide the resistance to the blood flow. So that pressure is going to increase. So finally, due to that rupture of artery takes place and we'll have interbleeding. When this pressure, somebody having 250 mm, 300 mm, so that artery will get damaged and interblooding takes place. This is a case of hypertension. When diastolic is going to decrease less than 80 mm Hg, okay, it will go to suppose up to 60, okay, but below 60, finally, that blood is not going to reach to each and every part of the human body. So maybe that person will fall down, person will faint. So this is the how we used to measure the blood pressure. Now we'll see some important parts of these blood vessels as well as how maintenance of platelets takes place, and about the lymph also we are going to see. So blood vessels में क्या क्या है? Arteries. So artery का क्या role था? It's used to carry the blood away from the heart to the human organs. So since it's used to carry the oxygenated bloods, the pressure is more. Okay. So it has high pressure, and so arteries are thick. It has elastic walls. और veins क्या करता है? Collect the blood from the different organs and it's going to bring back to the heart. So इसमें क्या होता है? Pressure ज़्यादा नहीं रहता. So it has low pressures. Okay. So now here again valve is there. So that valves is going to ensure it will have flow in only one direction. So finally, जब oxygenated blood is going to reach to the organ or tissues, so again this artery is going to be smaller. Again, it's going to become further smaller, and finally it's going to reach to the individual cells. So that's why if you see that somewhere artery is thicker, later you see that like a branch is going to come, and you'll find that it's going to become thinner. So that smaller vessels have walls which one cell thick and are called as the capillaries. So capillaries, just now we have seen, it is available in the lungs also as well as other part of the organs. This is the smallest thin part. So again here exchange of these materials takes place between the blood and surroundings through this thin wall. And finally, further, when we are returning the deoxygenated blood, so these capillaries are going to join together to form the veins. And through the vein, what we have seen that blood is taken away from the organs to the heart. So here we have discussion about, we have artery. From artery, it is going to change to the capillaries. Again, this capillaries further in another side, again this capillaries is going to join together to form the veins, and through the vein impure blood is going to reach to the heart, and here pure blood from the heart is going to reach to the various organs. Next is about this maintenance by platelets, how this platelet is going to help us. Okay. So now when some person is going to injured, when our blood cells are ruptured, so finally what is happening here? We feel that bleeding is going to start. So in the initial condition, when bleeding starts, so for some instance it's okay, but clotting of the blood should takes place. Okay. So that will have leakage when they start in the initial stage, when leakage will start, when we are going to lose the blood, so their loss of pressure is going to take place. Finally, it's reduce the pumping system. Okay, so we need to avoid this so that blood has platelets that circulate around the body, and finally it is going to help us in the blood clotting when injury is going to occur. So sometimes if you hear about in case of dengue, some person who is suffering with dengue, their platelets are going to decrease. So that decreasing of platelets is danger. Okay, so that should be protected, and it is helping in the blood clotting. Apart from this, you heard about that vitamin K is going to help in the blood clotting. Okay, so now what we are? Lymph. So lymph is the just like a plasma. Okay, so it is also tissue fluid which is going to help in the transportation. So that some pores are present in the wall of the capillaries. Okay, so that is the some amount of plasma. So proteins and blood cell escapes into the intercellular space in the tissues. So this plasma, proteins, and some blood cells is going to have availability between the space between the tissues, and finally it is going to form the tissue fluid that is called as the lymph. It is almost similar to the plasma of the blood, but It is the colorless and contains less protein in compared to plasma. So that is called as the lymph. It is available where the space between the tissues. Okay, so it is happening due to some amount of plasma, proteins, and blood cells which is escaped, and it is available between two tissues that forms the lymph. ओके, किससे बना? प्लाज्मा, प्रोटीन और ब्लड सेल से. सो ये कैसा है? कलरलेस है और इसमें क्या है? लेस प्रोटीन है. And finally, it's drained into the lymphatic capillaries from the intercellular space and is going to join to form large lymph. And it will be opened into the larger veins. So lymph का another role क्या है? It carries the digested and absorbed fat from the intestine and drains excess fluid from the extracellular space back into the blood. So lymph is also going to be the very important here, that helps in the transportation in blood, as well as it is helping in case of digested nutrition is going to reach to the organs from the absorbed fat from the intestine. So you have seen that digestion takes place up to a small intestine. So again, in case of large intestine, extra fluid is being absorbed. So this was the discussion about this is transportation in the human beings, where we have seen that how this heart is going to function, why heart is called as the pump. And again, we have seen with the help of lungs, how oxygenated blood we are going to obtain from the deoxygenated blood. So all the discussion takes place here. So any doubt is there, you can write in the comment box and like, share, subscribe so that regular update you will get. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.